Living in Brampton shouldn't come with a surcharge. Same house, same insurance, one small change.
Car insurance in Toronto and the GTA is absolutely insane.
Hey Alberta drivers, are you aware of the current issues in Alberta's auto insurance market?
Let's talk car insurance because I just got my policy renewal and it's $3,419 a year.
Insurance rates are likely to spike in 2025.
This question is for Canadians, yes, you. So let's talk about the most expensive car insurance in Ontario.
Windsor has the highest insurance rates in all of Canada.
But the crazy part is the amount of premiums being paid for policies has more than tripled.
Auto insurance system, calling it privately delivered care first.
And my insurance could go up because the amount of claims that have happened in that area are higher than the prior area.
So my car insurance when I first came to Canada was $310 a month, which works out to around 3,700 Canadian.
Yo, but can someone actually tell me why car insurance costs so much in Ontario?
Canada insurance, what's going on?
It costs too much to buy insurance for your car in Alberta.
What's more expensive, insurance or regret?
Welcome to the Canadian Rant. Everyone's talking about rent, everyone's talking about groceries, but there's another bill quietly exploding in Canada. And it might be the next financial crisis no one is ready for. Car insurance, home insurance. Premiums are jumping year after year, sometimes hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And most Canadians are just expected to absorb it without question. You didn't crash your car, you didn't file a claim, you didn't move, yet your bill goes up anyway. And for families already drowning in high rent, high food costs, and stagnant wages, insurance isn't optional, it's mandatory. So today, we're talking about why car and home insurance are becoming the next major pressure point in Canada's cost of living crisis, and why this silent squeeze could push even more people over the edge.
This question is for Canadians, yes, you. So let's talk about the most expensive car insurance in Ontario. It's in Brampton, number 1, then Toronto, then Mississauga, then Richmond Hill, then Vaughan. So my question for you is, who do you think are the worst drivers in Ontario? Let me know. Brampton.
Car insurance in Toronto and the GTA is absolutely insane. So this is my M2 comp. And for a bit of context, I'm 19 and I have a completely clean record. And I am paying $620 a month. Are you out of your mind? That's insane. Now I get it. I'm not delusional. I'm driving an M2, not a Corolla. But my point still stands. I know people with Corollas or like $500 cars paying $400 a month on insurance. And that just shouldn't happen ever. But I guess that's just what happens when you live somewhere where every single car gets stolen.
Yo, but can someone actually tell me why car insurance costs so much in Ontario? Like, I drive a Chevy Spark and it costs me $500 a month. No accidents. No, never been pulled over by a cop or anything. $500 a month. Like, I don't get it.
Insurance rates are likely to spike in 2025. Insurers are warning that recent severe weather events are behind the expected rate increase. The Insurance Bureau of Canada says 2024 was the single most expensive year on record for insurance payouts across our country. Hundreds of homes were obliterated by a wildfire in Jasper, and part of the greater Toronto area flooded. The Bureau says companies paid out $8.5 billion. For context, the previous record was $2 billion. That was in 2016, and that was the year of the Fort McMurray wildfire. And one online insurance advisor recommends people shop around and compare rates or go to a broker to get the best rates.
Our insurance for houses in Canada are very, very, like, almost general.
Actually, my buddy is an insurance agent with the cooperators. He was just talking about this on the weekend.
Yeah.
Windsor has the highest insurance rates in all of Canada.
Isn't that terrible?
Due to flood.
Yeah.
Crazy, eh?
And then they don't come up with a flood insurance. So it's like, I don't get it. Like,
you can get Comet insurance in the States.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Comet's gonna
I want some Comet insurance.
Right?
Anybody that thinks that stealing cars doesn't impact Canadians, well, think again. Definitely impacts their pocketbooks. Take a look at this. Passenger vehicle insurance premiums up 6.8% for the month of April. Not only are Canadians paying more for their mortgage interest, their rents, their fuel, and their food, but now we got to pay more on insurance for our vehicles because of the government's catch and release reforms. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below.
What's more expensive, insurance or regret? People say insurance is expensive until they realize what not having it costs. Here in Canada, a few dollars a day can be the difference between peace of mind and financial chaos. Most of us don't even think twice about spending over $100 a month on phone plans, coffee runs, or streaming subscriptions. But we hesitate at $50 a month for life insurance that could protect our family's entire future. The truth is, insurance only feels expensive until something happens. If you got sick or passed away unexpectedly, could your family keep the mortgage? Could they maintain their lifestyle? Even a simple funeral can cost over $10,000, and that's just the beginning. Because when income stops and medical or recovery costs start adding up, the real financial stress begins. And that's what insurance is designed to prevent. Regret always costs more than preparation. You can't buy peace of mind after the fact. You have to plan for it now. Follow for more real financial insights.
So I just finished working out, and while I was on the stair climb, I was thinking about just some things, what's going on in Canada, as I've been updating and saying. And I wanted to jump on that trend that is talking about what's one thing that's a scam that has become normal. And I wanted to jump on it, but I don't know how to get that video and pull it across my video. So I'm just gonna say it here. And especially in Canada. Listen, I can only talk about Canada. If it's going on all over the world, I don't know. I lived in Jamaica and Canada and Trinidad, and that's it. Car insurance. It's a big scam. Big scam. You know, every month you have to pay this bag of money. And if you have an accident, then it increases. If you get a ticket, then it increases. And when you actually have the accident and you want to use it, you don't want to use it because it's going to go up so high, which makes no sense. And for my immigrants, I want you guys to know, especially like in Jamaica, right? So my mother's car insurance is probably 50,000 Jamaican dollars a year. And that's about 350 Canadian dollars. Over here, you come over here now and you want to buy a car. And the car, say you want to finance a car, and the car monthly payment is $380. Just know that the car insurance for that is about $380 too. So it's almost like you're paying for the car two times. The value of, well, not the value of the car, but the monthly payment on the car is the same as the monthly insurance on the car. And if you ever get a ticket, that's going up. And then depending on how young or how old your license is, that could be higher. It's such a big scam. And then if you get in an accident, you don't want to use it because you don't want it to go up. There. One big scam. I don't know who thought about this. They should just give us a choice. If I want to insure my car, I insure my car. And if I don't want to insure it, then I don't insure it. If anything happens to it, then it's my business and it's my fault, and I have to figure out how to fix the other person's car if I'm wrong and all of that kind of thing. But this thing where it is mandatory and then everything affects it and it's the same cost of financing a car is total madness. This is one of the next things that makes Canada so expensive. Car insurance scam. Right, big up.
I'm just sick and tired of insurance premium on my automobiles. I had this, shock of my life when I was told I had to pay a certain amount for car insurance. But I was told that after a few years, this amount will gradually go down as you will gain more experience and what all. It's been 7 years since then? And right now I'm paying at around $420 for 2 vehicles. Every month it breaks my heart. And someone give me some better quotes. Maybe I get the same deal for like $150 or something, because paying this much insurance, it doesn't make any sense, man. These guys, they are screwing us.
Toronto! Insurance is up, but the cost of car ownership in Canada is down. And here's why. Here's all the info from this online article. Canada just endured one of its worst years ever for car insurance claims. This is all due to auto thefts and natural disasters like flooding and wildfires. But there is some good news for drivers according to this analysis by ratehub.ca. And here's some tips to save on insurance from this online article. And if these tariff threats continue, we'll see an increase in car insurance this year. So Toronto, what are your thoughts? And how expensive is your car insurance? Let me know below.
It costs too much to buy insurance for your car in Alberta. I'm George Hall, Member of Parliament for Calgary Skyview. It's true, Alberta has the highest automotive insurance rates in Canada, and it is Danielle Smith's UCP government's fault, starting with the Jason Kenney government and continuing with Danielle Smith. Auto insurance rates have skyrocketed. Even this year, when Premier Smith finally started paying attention to the impact of these high rates in Alberta families, the prices went up by 3.7% for some Albertans. For the rest, rates went up even more. Some companies have fled Alberta, but we citizens can't. We must face these high insurance costs each and every year. Cost of living is the #1 complaint of Albertans. It is time for Danielle Smith to step up and make it just a little more affordable. It is up to her.
I could move from one street in Cambridge to another street in Cambridge, and it would be just a little bit of a different postal code, and my insurance could go up because the amount of claims that have happened in that area are higher than the prior area.
So it hurts you to live in a neighborhood with crappy drivers, but also areas of car theft, probably huge right now, right?
Well, right now the vehicles are the biggest factor. There is a list of the highest theft vehicles in Ontario.
What about home insurance? It just popped into my head.
Mhm.
I'm looking to buy a home in a certain neighborhood. Could I get somebody in insurance to kind of look at that postal code and see if there's anything that's been happening in terms of, like some areas
Yes.
are more prone to water damage, some areas are more prone.
We used to have that.
Yeah?
We used to have it. It was basically like we have a record of all the auto accidents that you've ever been in. We used to have a record for the home of any claims that have happened in that home.
Can't kind of look that up anymore?
Not anymore. Yeah, we used to have it was called hits, and we could
Yeah.
run it on the house itself and
Mhm.
see if there were any claims on that house. It would actually show the neighborhood too.
Yeah?
But we can't write that anymore. The insurance companies have taken that away years ago, actually.
You see it by doing quotes on water coverage in the
Yes.
basement? So
Well, you can see it on your water coverage period, because if you do a quote in a high water table area, you either get no sewer backup or you'll be limited to $50,000. So you can immediately tell that that's a high water territory.
Hey Alberta drivers, are you aware of the current issues in Alberta's auto insurance market? Insurers are leaving, premiums are soaring, and drivers are worried about what's going to happen next. So, what's causing this crisis? To start, Alberta's 3.7% rate cap limits insurers' ability to raise premiums, making it unprofitable for some providers like Aviva to stay in the market. Since insurance companies started to leave Alberta, the market competition has kept decreasing, which has caused higher prices from the fewer insurance companies. Secondly, growing repair costs, inflation, and frequent legal claims are driving up insurance company expenses, further impacting premiums. Lastly, unlike some provinces with public insurance, Alberta relies on private insurers, leaving drivers with limited choices as companies exit the market. Will the government introduce no-fault insurance or find another solution? Visit mychoice.ca to learn more.
There's a troubling statistics that I came across this week. In 1989, 84% of Canadians said they had enough life insurance coverage. Now, in 2024, that number has dropped to about 44% of Canadians. But the crazy part is the amount of premiums being paid for policies has more than tripled since 1989. So what that means is that fewer Canadians are paying more premiums, which means that it is the wealthier Canadians that are getting insured, while the Canadians that need protection the most, the Canadians whose household income is about $50,000 and less, are not getting insured at all, because they don't think their life and their health is worth protecting. They are getting left behind because a lot of life insurance agents now focus on the higher income earners because it doesn't take too much to educate them on the need for life insurance. They see why they need to protect their lives. But the people that need the protection the most simply do not think their life is worth protecting. And it's going to lead to a lot of poverty in Canada. Something needs to change.
Here's something crazy as an Australian living in Canada. My car insurance in Australia for a year was around $675 Australian. That comes to about $598 Canadian. My car insurance when I first came to Canada was $310 a month, which works out to around $3,700 Canadian. Now in general, things in Australia cost more than in Canada, but at the same time, the minimum wage in Australia also works out to about $30 an hour, working at like a petrol station. Which is probably around $26 Canadian here. But in car insurance in Toronto is far more expensive here than in Australia. Granted, in Australia, I had a lot longer car history, so it was cheaper than when I came to Canada, even though they gave me a full G license because I could prove that I had a full license in Australia. The insurance companies classified me as a first-time driver, so they gave me a high rate. But I feel like I'm never going to get as low as $600 for a year in Canada.
Canadians are about to be bent over on their car insurance renewals. This family of two was paying $563 for their 3 vehicles on renewal. They are now going to be paying $937. That is crazy. This is a family of 2 married with 30 years of total driving experience. Myself, for my 2 vehicles, I was just called by my car insurance broker. My increase is going to be 45% year over year on car insurance. It's crazy what is happening, and this is all because our government, our leadership has allowed this increase in crime, increase in all of these car thefts. And did we all think the insurance companies were just going to take it? Absolutely not. They are going to pass every bit of that cost to everyday working Canadians, and this is what's happening. I don't know how people are going to be affording these increases, but these are dramatic increases. This is crazy what is happening to all of us. And this is why I always say this car theft, all of this auto crime is not a victimless crime. Everybody is a victim. It's coming out of everybody's pockets, and we need to do more. Instead, our government is doing nothing. And just like everything across Canada, whether it's groceries, whether it's going to go fill up gas, whether it's the cost of living for your mortgage and your rent and interest rates, all of it, Canadians are just being bent over every single day. And now everyone's going to be up with these massive renewals that are coming. It's going to be another slap in the face for everybody that's already being weighed down by the dramatic increasing of costs across Canada.
So I just got my home insurance renewal documents, and my premiums over the last couple of years have almost doubled. It's insane what I'm paying for home insurance. And I understand I'm not alone. There's actually a lot of Canadians in the same boat. Home insurance has gone through the roof. And the most disturbing trend that I'm seeing is a lot of people are now strapped for cash. So they're actually canceling their home insurance, which is really not a good idea. And I'll tell you why. Really a couple of reasons. One is, obviously, if you're not insured, if anything were to happen, you're on your own. And, there's floods, there's fires, there's break-ins, there's things that can cause hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of damage, plus the liability, right? So what happens if, say, your home burns down and takes down a couple neighbors with them? What's your liability if you don't have any insurance? And the second thing that most people don't know about is your bank, if you have a mortgage, requires you to have active home insurance at all times. And you may think, yeah, you know what? I had my insurance when I got my mortgage. How are they going to know? They'll know. They get reports. And a couple things can happen. One is they'll probably give you a small window to rectify that to get insurance and submit proof of insurance, which is going to be a process. Or in the worst case scenario, they can call your mortgage, meaning they'll cancel your mortgage and you owe them the full mortgage amount, and then you got to go to another lender and explain why they called your mortgage. So really puts you in a bad system. So canceling home insurance, yeah, it's expensive. It's a pain in the butt in terms of all these premiums. It's a lot of money. Probably not a good idea to save money.
Living in Brampton shouldn't come with a surcharge. Same house, same insurance, one small change. Suddenly it cost me 23% more. After my mom recently passed away, I had to update the paperwork on her home insurance. Nothing changed about the house. Same property, same structure, same policy. The only thing I had to update was the billing address. I changed it from up north down here to Brampton. And just like that, the monthly premium jumped from $56 to $69, a 23% increase. How is that fair? Why are Brampton residents being charged just for living here? This isn't about risk, it's about profit. Big insurance companies are squeezing more from our community just because they can. And this isn't happening just with car insurance. This is our homes. As your Green Party candidate, I will defend Brampton families from greedy insurance corporations. We deserve transparency, we deserve fairness, and we deserve accountability. And you know what? We need leaders who aren't afraid to stand up to big corporations like that. Brampton isn't a risk. It's our home, and I'm here to protect it. My name is Mike Dancy. I'm running for the Brampton Chincoosy Park Green Party. Let's fight back. we can make something better together.
Alberta is changing its auto insurance system, calling it privately delivered Care First. Now, the province has some of the most expensive premiums across the country, and the changes are intended to make it more affordable in the long term. So let's take a look at the current system and how it compares to other provinces. Here's how average premiums in the provinces stacked up in 2023. Ontario has the most expensive, a little over $1,800. Alberta comes in next with just under $1,700, followed by the other western provinces.
We do pay a little bit more here in Alberta today than we do in other provinces, but that's reflective of the fact that we certainly get a lot more when we go to make a claim than other provinces. How we fine-tune that balance between claims and claims costs and premiums is what's going to ultimately determine the affordability and the level of care and coverage provided.
But there's different auto insurance systems depending on the province. The majority of them operate privately. British Columbia, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan use a public model with a no-fault system, but a limited ability to sue. Insurers prefer a private model.
Corporations like the Insurance Corporation of British Columbia, the government insurer in that province, has cost taxpayers upwards of $4 billion in recent years. Saskatchewan's government insurer, Manitoba's government insurer, they're also running at a loss. And what happens is when those insurers run into financial challenges, those costs are ultimately borne by taxpayers. As well as, you often see ongoing taxpayer subsidies as a result of public insurance is one way they try to keep rates down.
There's still quite a bit of time until Alberta moves to the new system. It's not expected to start up until the beginning of 2027, and there's still a lot of work to be done, including introducing it in legislation and training.
One thing we forgot during this election, but we should worry about, is the number of natural disaster that is occurring and that will happen in the future. There's a lot of people in the next few years that will suffer the consequences of climate change, whether it's landslide in the eastern part of Canada or hailstorm in the western part of Canada. Canadian companies paid more than $8 billion last year for natural disasters to their customers. And this number will rise in the future, which will drive the cost of insurance way higher. This is the numbers for the US, each year represented by the number it has cost to American insurance companies according to each risk. Green being for heavy storms. The number for each type of risk will occur even more, and in Canada, the thing that we need to take into account is also the forest fires, which will happen more often in the future. We need to invest massively in bioengineering solutions to mitigate the risks associated with climate change. And this is a thing that we should be talking more about in this election.
Canada Insurance, what's going on? What's going on? How can I be paying $350 every month as insurance, kiniko, and it doesn't even cover wear and tear on my car? So if anything happens to my car, I got to use my own personal savings or my personal money to fix it. So what's the need having an insurance? Paying $350 every month, and that's the least, like, it can't even cover wear and tear. Okay, let's say if you bash into someone's car, they only have to cover the person's car if the person is at fault, not if you is at fault. So this feels like a scam, to be honest, because I don't see the reason paying $350 every month and it cannot cover anything. It's just like me dashing you $350 every month and it's just for nothing. I don't know, it's crazy. Canada Insurance, you guys need to do better, because I don't know what somebody is, and I rarely drive. I don't even drive every day. I rarely drive. If I want to drive, just few minutes, drive to here. I don't even drive every day. It's crazy.
Let's talk car insurance, because I just got my policy renewal and it's $3,419 a year. So about 2 years ago, I switched companies for my car insurance because I'm I feel like I'm paying too much in car insurance. And what do I always tell you? Shop around. Internet, phone, TV, anything like that, always shop around. So here I go. 2 years ago, I switched to the company that we're with now, and it went down a lot, and I was so excited. I was like, tap, tap, tap. I've done a good job. And then about a week ago, I got my new renewal, and it's gone up drastically. Just got off the phone with my insurance company and I was like, what can we do here? Can we like lower it? Can we remove something? Can we like do some little magic? Very nice guy. He got it down from $3,419 to $3,000. And I'm like, I was paying $174 a month. Like that, you were still at like $250 a month. Like, so we play with the policy again, and then it gets down to $246 a month. Granted, I have never gotten a parking ticket, okay? Not even a freaking parking ticket. There's no accidents on the car. The car is almost actually paid off. It'll be paid off in August. Tap, tap, tap. But yeah, I'm like, I don't, like, I feel like I need to, like, shop around. Like, I feel like this is a lot. And I feel like we never talk about this. No one knows what each other pays. And it's all different. Everyone's different because everyone has a different driving record and different insurance and different companies. There is, like, is there a standard? I don't know. And, like, I'm trying to, like, think of different insurance, car insurance, like, how is anyone supposed to navigate this system? If you have a really good policy, I'm just saying, I need some help. There's like what? TD Insurance, Bel Direct, like CAA, that's a thing, right? Is there like an advantage of going with a different company? Like, do you get something back in return? Like, I don't know.
Here's what makes this so dangerous. Insurance doesn't feel dramatic at first. It doesn't hit like a rent hike. It doesn't spike like grocery prices overnight. It creeps up quietly, renewal after renewal, until suddenly you're paying hundreds more for the same coverage and wondering what you're supposed to cut next. And unlike other expenses, you can't just opt out. You can't drive without insurance. You can't protect your home without it. So when premiums rise, Canadians are trapped. Insurance companies blame climate change. They blame theft. They blame fraud. They blame inflation. But accountability? Transparency? Real oversight? That part always seems missing. Meanwhile, families are forced to choose between coverage and groceries. Young people delay buying homes because insurance alone is unaffordable. Seniors on fixed incomes feel the squeeze the hardest. This isn't just a personal budgeting issue anymore. This is systemic. When essential protections become luxury expenses, something is broken. So the real question is, how long before insurance joins rent and food as one of the top reasons Canadians can't survive anymore? Now, I want to hear from you. Has your car or home insurance gone up this year? By how much? And did anyone explain why? Drop your experience in the comments. Read what others are saying. Because when enough people speak up, it becomes harder to ignore. If this rant hit home, like the video, share it, and subscribe. This is the Canadian Rant, and we're calling out the next crisis before it explodes.